I've been to a lot of conferences around the country. I think yours is potentially the only conference that goes across the whole spectrum. People want to parse the paranormal. So they want to say, okay, the tarot card reading is okay, but the UFO stuff isn't okay. And people have this thing where they have parsed their little field, and their little field has the answer. And I think the Metaphysical Tribe Conference is the only one where it sort of goes across the whole spectrum, where you have near-death experience people, you brought in the UFO people, and you're basically saying all these are mysteries and they may all be connected, and you should open up your mind to be more open to everything. Rather, I think you're the only conference that does that, and it involves everybody, and everybody may have a different way that they're talking to God or whatever contact modality, I guess we call it. So you have a modality that gets you into this field where everything is in the field. There's all the answers there, and you're bringing in these different people who have these different ways of contact, and everybody should be listened to. And when you come across it, it's basically the same message. It's just coming from different perspectives. And this year, you're bringing in Ingrid Honkala, who I think is one of the best stories I've heard in terms of near-death experience. Where here you have a woman who did a lot of major stuff for NASA and for the Navy. But she was a top scientist, where she has this near-death experience and can relate to all the other phenomena. And so that's completely different than UFOs, but I've done that myself. Is I've brought in the near-death experience thing, and I've said, do you realize that when it comes to UFO experiences, 37% of all people who've had UFO experiences have had a near-death experience. So there's a connection there, and by putting them together, people may not pick it up, but eventually people are going to realize that it's all one thing. It's this strange phenomena. And then the other one that I really admire that you're bringing in is one that people are really going to have to think, because it's Mike Clelland with the owls, which people would never think about in terms of owls. What are you talking about? Why are people talking about owls? But when you hear his entire presentation, you start to realize that he has had this very complex download where he's been interacted with, and this is all for real. That he has this very unique situation with owls where people are contacting me. He's written a number of books on it, the connection to the paranormal and owls. And the other thing, whether he'll talk about it or not, is the number phenomena, which you'll get in all sorts of paranormal phenomena. People are into 333 and they're into 1111 and all sorts of stuff. Well, Mike is into 1234, and he's into a number of different number things. And I remember being at a conference in Eureka Springs when you're actually with him, which may happen when people are around Mike, is you're gonna see these things happening to him while he's actually there. And I remember I was there and he had lectured, and he got off the stage where I was going with his girlfriend and him to dinner and or lunch, and he said, "You know what time my lecture ended?" And I said, "No, what time your lecture ended?" And he said, 12:34, 1234. So we went to the restaurant, and his girlfriend was there, and we were checking out, signing our bills or whatever, and they had the numbers that they put on the table, and they had 1234 across. And he said, "Look at this, 1234." And so that's the thing, is you realize that it's this very weird sort of world where they're using whatever the phenomena is. And I'm not, I may be all the same phenomena, where it's like I say now, is the UFO causing the paranormal phenomena, or is the paranormal phenomena causing the UFOs? That there may be this paranormal phenomena that's using these different ways. They're talking to Mike in one way, they're talking to Ingrid in another way, they're talking to me in one way, they're talking to you through cards. And when you put these all together, and that's what's unique about the metaphysical conference, is it goes across the spectrum. So that's the thing I think that people have to realize with the Metaphysical Tribe Conference, is that you're going to get all these different aspects of the phenomena. It's not just one thing. There's not one person out there who has all the answers. There are a bunch of people, and they're getting it in different ways. And if you listen to all these people, you're going to pick up something that will help you in whatever you think is the truth in your life. Well, it's the small town thing, which I think is another thing that you don't really get in terms of conferences. Conferences are usually held in big centers, the LA Hilton, places like that, where the Marriotts and stuff like that, where people want to go to a conference where it's all sort of fancy, and they're in downtown, and there's all sorts of other things to do. Yours is like sort of like the small town thing, where there really isn't a stoplight, where they have a very beautiful Airbnb, which is like sort of renovated and it's beautiful, and they spent a lot of money fixing this place up. The thing that I liked was it's a Midwestern conference, which there is only one that I'm aware of, and that is there's one in Eureka Springs every year, and that's pretty much exclusively a UFO conference. And from time to time they'll have one in Kansas City, but that's a UFO conference as well. That's the thing is you have it's a small town. It's Midwest. It's the corn. It's just sort of mid America at its best. And the other thing you had is it's more of um, a situation where people are talking to each other, where they're interacting. Like you have the breakfast down in the morning where people all get together. So you get to interact with people. And for a lot of people who've never been to a conference, that's one thing they recognize when they go to the conference is this is their family. This is their tribe. You call it the tribe. But where people are interacting with each other and they come year after year is these people will be friends for life. That you will get to know these people and you will be able to share with these people and you'll be able to deal with them after you leave the conference. In any paranormal phenomena, you're out in Oz. You're no longer in Kansas. You're out in Oz, and you need to find people to support you. And that's a big part of what this conference is about: is finding people that have the same interests as you and can talk. You can talk to, and you can tell it, and you can get it out. And it's an event that goes on every day, and you go from subject to subject to subject. And you may have to sit through it, but when you've sat through the lecture, then you realize, oh, this did have something for me. You think it doesn't have anything to do with you, and I think that would probably be the main thing that people need to know is the benefits you get from talking to people and from realizing that this is more than just one little subject of the paranormal, that it goes across the spectrum. So I admire the fact that you've done this, that you've actually realized that you can talk to UFO people and that we can talk to tarot card readers and that everybody has their little piece of the puzzle and that we can all share with each other. So I highly recommend the conference to people, especially in the Midwest, because there's no place to go in the Midwest, and that we have been given a gift, whatever our modality is, that we've been given some piece of that puzzle, and that's why we're here. We're here to share that piece of the puzzle, figure out that piece of the puzzle. And what you get at the Metaphysical Tribe conference is that you get all these different people from different perspectives, and you are sort of in some ways forced to interact with these people, and you realize, oh, I thought those people were strange, but no, they're not strange. They're just the same as me. They're just coming at it from a different angle. This is something you have to see. I think it's what, 3 days or 2 days?
It's actually 4 days, but
4 days.
it's a half a day on Thursday and just the morning on Friday. Sunday is
Yeah.
a half a day.
And usually people want to head back home on Sunday, so that's usually the way it does work. So it's you can sort of get into it, and I would encourage everybody to try to talk to as many people as you can, and you'll make friends who have stuff that they can share with you that will make yours a better experience and make you understand better what you're going through. I'll guarantee people it's all the same thing. It's all interlinked, and so in terms of it's not like a big hotel where everybody's all sort of spread out, everybody's sort of close to each other, and you're interacting with people all day long. And you even had the one with the business. I think a lot of your people are business people who are doing paranormal as part of their living. And so you even had and I even got something out of that where, you have a speaker come in and actually talk about the business aspect of this, if that's what you're doing. So you're trying to look at every possible aspect of helping people make theirs a better experience, because something has drawn them in there. People aren't there because, they're just nothing better to do. They've had some sort of experience and they're looking for answers. And I think that's what they need to do in terms of this compared to a UFO conference is to go, because it goes across the spectrum. You'll learn all sorts of different stuff about things that you thought were crazy. That these people, I'm saying these people are crazy, and you suddenly realize, oh, these people weren't as crazy as I thought they were, and you realize it's all divine. Almost the idea that whatever you take and put into darkness drags you into the darkness with it. What you damns you back. What you blesses you in return. And I think you start to realize at this conference that goes across the whole spectrum, it's all divine. Everybody's just coming at it from a different perspective. So I mean, I can't say enough about the conference. And for people that are in the Midwest that have no place to go, this is where you go. I mean, if you're there, because there is nothing else in the. I'm in the Midwest. There's nothing. We've never had a conference here in Manitoba. There's nothing here within uh, 25 hours of driving for conferences. And I think you've got the same thing. You have a big center of Chicago there. You have a lot of people, and you're near St. Louis where people can come in from St. Louis. And people need to know that there is a conference there that caters to the paranormal.
And the metaphysical.
The metaphysical, yeah, which is the higher aspect of it, because people will see it first as the paranormal, and then as I did, is you suddenly realize that there's the metaphysical, there's something above that, that it's all going back to this divinity thing. It's all one thing, and something above us is talking to us through different modalities, and so you're not going to get that at. I think yours is the only conference that will get that will get that metaphysical aspect, that it's more than just flying saucers. It's more than just tarot card reading or channeling or near death experiences, whatever. There's this higher aspect that you try to encompass in one weekend, where you get a taste of this and a taste of that, and then you widen your perspective, and you realize this idea that it's all basically divine. It's all a higher uh, entity or force, or something talking to us, that you can learn from these other people. And I don't think there's any other. You may correct me, but I don't think there's any other conference that does this, where it goes across the spectrum. Everybody's in their little niche, and unless you're talking near-death experiences, they don't want to talk to you at a near-death experience conference. They don't realize that it's all connected. It's all this one thing. And bravo to you for doing this, for pointing out that it's this thing, and people got to realize that whatever your little thing is that got you into the paranormal, there is other people at this conference which will make it a richer and more rewarding experience, and you'll learn from them.